We want to say thank you to our sponsors, Watchman Cigars, Operation Decisive Victory, Webmerized, and Red Hill Brewing. Without you guys, this episode would not be possible. Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it's our take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, while you, the listener, are invited to come up on the front porch, grab a beverage, and set a spell. We've got a great show lined up for you, as always. But before we begin, let me introduce you to our starting lineup. Running the Facebook Live, the YouTube Live, the Twitch, and anything else that you can see on the web, it's our Magic Man.
Hey, everybody.
And behind the control deck, it's producer Brian.
Hey, hey, hey.
And, of course, I be your illustrious host, Biggin. And how about you? Producer Brian, where can our folks find us on the socials?
We are on the Facebooks at facebook.com/Southern Fried Philosophy. Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at SFP Radio. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/channel/UCCVEM8FHQ2YKTUMGUMI5NPG. You can always email the show at sfpradio@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the show, please visit patreon.com/SFP And we are always streaming on the iHeartRadio, Spotify, and TuneIn apps.
There you go. Please, again, we say this multiple times, and I know that we've got more than 100 listeners, so please go out to YouTube, click the subscribe button, turn off your notifications, and call it a day. If you are staying at home and you want to do your own podcast, hit up producer Brian. He can do all the wonderful magic that he does to make this show sound as best as it can. I'm just going to say that. Shoot him an email at headlines@sfpradio.com. If you'd like to be a show sponsor, shoot me an email at sfpradio.com. I had our first one this week and didn't quite pan out so well. Next week, though, here's what I want to take away. Our next week's guest, guys, I'm really excited to have this person on. Gwen Traversy was supposed to be on. She had some stuff come up, so we had to move her. But we were able to get this next guest, and his name is David Page. Now, you may not know David Page. You may be asking yourself, who in the world is David Page? Well, let me tell you this. He is the author of this book called Food Americana, which I've got the audiobook. I'm going through it. It's fantastic. But you may also know him as the creator of this little TV show that we have maybe watched called What's it called? What's it? Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Yes. The Triple D. Triple D. Yeah, let me get that out of my mouth. So, but anyway, he created the show with Guy Fieri, and I'm really excited to have him on. We're going to pick his brain about all those type of things and food, especially Southern food. He knows way more about fried chicken than I think anybody should know about it. But anyway, he's going to be on the show next week. David Page. Be sure to tune in for that. We're really excited to have him on. We want to say shout out to our listener from Belgium. I like your waffles. How about you? There you go. So I'm going to ask you, like I ask you guys every week, I be darn. Magic Man, give us that weather.
That weather. Oh man, it's hot. It feels like the middle of the summer out there. At least here in North Carolina this week, it does.
Y'all, what in the world? Who did not do their quiet time this week? Because God is punishing us. I guarantee you that's what's happening.
Yeah, it kind of makes you glad, Jake. Well, I'm not going to go there. Yeah, no, it's hot, but no, doing good, man. We got the Memorial Day weekend coming up. Honor those who gave their lives, did the supreme sacrifice for our freedoms, and enjoy a nice long weekend, but also honor those that gave their lives for us to be free and enjoy what we have here in the United States.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's incredibly hot. I told my dad I think I'm going to take a nice little vacation to Antarctica just to get away from this heat. Because goodness gracious. Producer Brian, how you be doing?
I tell you what.
Oh boy.
About 2 hours ago, my biscuits were burning pretty good.
Ooh.
So
literally or figuratively?
Maybe a little bit of both potentially. So how long have restaurants had to do the curbside pickup, like carry out thing now?
I don't know, but I hope to God they don't stop. I hope they don't stop.
Well, so this evening we had to get dinner, an impromptu. It wasn't planned. We were going to make something, and I did the yard. Wife was home late, so Zaxby's drive-through. Well, actually, Zaxby's app, curb carry out. You punch it in, whatever.
Back to the chicken sandwiches.
I didn't get a chicken sandwich for the record.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
But I
that's
got chicken
newsworthy right there.
Make there. So, I get the Zaxby's app, put our whole order, everyone's in curbside. So drive over, and the Zaxby's by my house, maybe I don't think they're all this way, is the slowest place on earth.
Yeah, they can be. They can be.
And I partially blame Chick-fil-A for this, for setting expectations for
sure,
drive-through food.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of places that can do what they do. For some, I don't
there's
know why.
No places that can't.
They just don't. They can.
No.
They don't.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, so the app says my food will be ready at like 6:05, which is like 10 minutes from. I'm still sitting on my couch, right?
Okay.
It'll take that long to get in the truck, drive over there, and pull in the parking spot, right? Get over there. There's no signs anywhere for there's no like number 1, number 2, park here, anything. So I get the drive-through line going. This is probably my best bet. Well, the drive-through takes at least 20 minutes for me to just get to the box. And according to the app, my food was ready at like 6:05, right?
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay, some of the box, and apparently they had maybe they had a staff shortage or something. I don't know because they're closing early. But
okay, yeah.
I'm trying to tell them who I am, and 3 times she's like, "Can't get my name," which is not that complicated, right?
No, not at all. Did you say producer Brian? That's not hard.
Exactly. Order for producer Brian. So I pulled around and she asked my name again. So I've already spelled it on the box. So now I'm going to spell it again. The food there, it's not ready yet. Like what? I don't understand.
Nobody was naming it. Yeah.
But I don't know. I was a little hangry anyway.
That doesn't help. No, sure.
It just I don't know. I was thinking about those cartoons like Yosemite Sam would have like his face would turn red and the steam would come out. That's where I was there waiting on my Zaxby's. It was just I'm ready to just not go back basically. But this particular store has messed up our order like 9 out of 10 times. My daughter's food is wrong. It's always her food. It's not my food.
They don't like
It's
her.
always her. The sauce is missing, or there's no fries, or no chicken, or anyway.
That's rough, man.
That's my rant.
I seem to have noticed kind of a decline in the level of service at a lot of fast food restaurants.
Absolutely.
It seems like takes longer. Orders not coming out correct.
Yeah, and everyone's hiring.
And
that's a thing. I think so. Good help.
They're saying
any help's hard to find.
Yeah, they're saying that trying to get people hired, they're having a hard time finding people to hire.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it just seems like in general, and there's exceptions, there's good exceptions, and there's worse exceptions. But in general, it just seems like I don't know, just isn't good.
Yeah.
And this particular restaurant is never like pre-shutdowns. It's always slow.
Yeah.
So I'm not. Yeah. Maybe I should give them a little more grace. But even when things were up to par, they were still slower than everybody. So anyway, how you been doing?
No, good. Well, you had to wait 30, 40 minutes for your food.
It felt like forever, but yeah.
Felt like forever. Yeah.
For his fast food.
For his fast food. Well, my company had a forced furlough where I had to take a week off for COVID reasons. and so I was able to file for unemployment for 1 week. So that was back in the last part of June, June 22nd. Mm-hmm. Well, I filed for the unemployment probably like 2 months, and I forgot about it. It was just a week, no big deal. Like we were able to survive. We have, our Dave Ramsey 6 months of, stuff. So we were fine. But 2 months later, I was like, shouldn't I have gotten a check by now? So I give them a call and they're like, oh, well, you're supposed to go in and register every week. Like, what? I didn't know that. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, oh yeah, you're supposed to do that. Well, let me work on it and I'll call you back tomorrow and we'll get this straightened out. Sure. Got it. Okay. Didn't call me back. Well, and then, so I called again, forgot about it, called back a couple of weeks later and I was like, hey, you're supposed to fix this, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, we'll get it taken care of. Okay. So then like a couple weeks after that, nothing happened. And I was like, all right, y'all. So then I call back and then we go round and round and they can't fix it. I went up to a quote unquote manager. They weren't able to fix it. They're like, well, you're going to have to file an appeal at this point. Like, well, how long is this going to take? Long story short, at this point, I'm 11 months. Right now, I'm 11 months from filing this unemployment. My appeal finally got processed yesterday, and I have won my case where I was out for a week. 11 months later. Y'all.
You get 1 week of pay, right?
I get 1 week of pay, right?
Gotta love the efficiency of our government.
How many hours? Yeah, if you were billing those hours.
Oh, yeah.
Probably spent more than a week's worth of time on that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. If I use my billable hours, we're talking a crap ton of money that the state has. And then, I could go back and say, I would have used this X amount of dollars to invest in GameStop or AMC, but I couldn't because I didn't have it. So therefore you owe me what I would have gotten from those stocks, but I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah, if you had played it the right way, you'd actually made money and not lost anything, right?
Well, those of you remember who have listened to the show a while, I've been playing the stock market, and my ROI percentage was at 80%. Like I was crushing it. And I was feeling really good about myself until like probably about 2 months ago. And then all heck broke loose. Now I'm at like 33%. So it went down. It's starting to come back up, but it's better than putting it in the bank. I will say that. So anyway, there's that. I'm not doing too bad. I will say, if you want any stock tips, JJ Buckner is a good person to follow, or just invest in lithium because everybody's going to EV. So there you go. So also, producer Brian, I've got a bone to pick with you.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what this is.
All right.
So this past week, you mentioned that you had a great breakfast meal.
Yes.
With toast. And then you guys will remember we had Mom and Pop's Vermont maple syrup on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that bone.
I was ready for a different fight. Okay. All right.
Well, that's coming up. We had Mom and Pop's Vermont's best maple syrup. We've got some from them. Loved it. It's fantastic. But they also have the maple cream. And so producer Brian and I both ordered that. Yep. Well, you said that you made toast, then you put the maple cream on that.
Yep.
And then you put bacon on that.
Yep.
And you said it was phenomenal.
Yep.
Yep. And so my wife and I, we were figuring out what we're going to try to do for breakfast. And I was like, producer Ryan said to try this. So I got my brioche bread, made it like Magic Man makes it in the oven. I call it grandma bread, but it was that. Then put the thick cut bacon on it with the maple cream. And I sat here at my desk where I'm at now for work, and I had the first bite. And when I bit into that deliciousness, the skies opened, a dove flew down and landed on my shoulder, and it said, "This is my son who I'm well pleased." It was the most incredible thing I have ever put in my mouth. It was sweet. It was savory. And then Jessica put an egg on mine, a fried egg on top of that. Y'all, I am telling you, it is phenomenal. So Mom and Pop's Vermont's best maple syrup. Get the maple cream.
World's best Vermont maple syrup.
Oh, okay. That's
the
okay.
full, yeah.
We'll put the link up on our show notes again. But that was Magic Man. You're just going to have to come over one day and we're going to have to make this thing because it is. And you said it's even better with a biscuit.
Oh, yeah, it's even better. So just going back a little bit,
I believe that.
I don't have fancy bread like you do. I mean, I eat like wheat sandwich bread around here. That's just what we eat.
Well, that explains your whole egg sandwich thing.
And that's just fine. I like wheat bread. That's what I've grew up on. That's what I eat, and not fancy stuff. But I've made mine and I really enjoyed it. But then like maybe last weekend or 2 weeks ago, I put that maple cream on a biscuit with some bacon. And I believe I said that you've only been to the first level of heaven.
Y'all, seriously, I don't bull junk about food. That was incredible. No, in fact, it was so good. Jess said, "Well, what are you having for dinner?" And I'm like, "I think I've got it right here. We're gonna do this again."
Beef for D. That's right.
I've also been putting it on banana muffins this week, which is nice.
I can see that.
Yep.
God bless the maple cream. All right. So speaking of, let's go to our Southern phrase of the week called Hill of Beans. You guys have heard that saying before. In the South, a hill of beans is its own measurement. A hill of beans isn't worth very much, whether you were talking about volume or value, which means whatever you're talking about isn't worth less or is worth less than very little. So just, that's just worth a hill of beans, which means it ain't worth nothing. It ain't worth nothing. Speaking of things that ain't worth nothing, let me tell you about. Do you guys remember the story about the Ohio vaccination process?
Yes.
Where if you did not receive a COVID shot and then you decided you were going to get a COVID shot, you were entered into a lottery to win $1 million.
Yes.
And so we wondered like how good that really is gonna work. So it turns out that when they did the numbers, they increased for 18 and 19-year-old age group 46% vaccination rate. And then from 20 to 49-year-old group, it went up 55%.
Wow.
For them to hit the lotto. The first Vax-A-Million lottery winner, that's what they're calling it, Vax-A-Million, which, by the way, not bad. Well done. Well done. Well, actually, has already been announced 30 minutes ago. It was 7:29. So the first Vax-A-Million lottery winner will be announced today.
Can we get them on the show?
We should. What do you guys think about that? 46% of 18 to 19-year-olds and 55% of adults.
What was the numbers before? I mean, that much was the increase by
the increase by, yeah.
It sounds impressive, statistically, I suppose. I don't know what the original number was, so that kind of makes me skeptical. But that shows you, especially I can see it with 18 to 19-year-olds, because the Powerball gets up to triple digits, and everyone goes buys more tickets, decreasing odds and all that mess. But
right. Also, from 16 to 17 year old age group went up 94%. And just to be clear, like the 16 through like 18-year-old groups, there's 4 scholarships, full scholarships to Ohio State universities. So 94% for that.
I guess because in some places the shots weren't approved yet for that age group. So
yeah, I think in Ohio, I guess they are now. But yeah, that would make sense for the
from
94%.
Right.
Yeah, but for the older people, it kind of makes you wonder if there's a lot of people sitting on the fence about getting the vaccination, and they just need a little nudge, and this is a nudge to get them to go do it.
So is this something you think that everybody should do? Like, do you think that the $1 million is enough encouragement for folks to go get it? The argument could be, well, why don't they split that up and do like $50,000 per county or something like that? Do it by a county basis.
Think about what your population was. So they had 5. They would have 5 winners, right?
Right, 5 winners out of that.
I mean, there's not. How many people live in Ohio? That's the real question, I guess.
I mean, there's a lot, but
if you say, you think about like the first, when when you used to go to like Hornets games, the first 100 guests got a towel.
Right.
The first like 500 people to sign up for vaccination get $100 and walk in the door.
Right.
Like, like think about that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone's being signed up, and then you don't know what number you are, so you get your shot anyway. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, evidently the numbers work. I mean, well done, I guess, if that's your goal. Yeah. Is that a waste of $1 million or $5 million plus whatever you're going to pay for those universities? Maybe. So anyway, it was just a follow-up on that story that we had. Another follow-up is a bone to pick with producer Brian yet again.
Here we go. All right.
Here's the other one. So again, from a follow-up of the grilled cheese debate that we had 2 weeks ago, producer Brian sent a picture of his egg sandwich, which we posted on Facebook. So if you want to go to Facebook,
against my consent to be
Facebook.com/SFP radio. You can look at it there. His is at the bottom and mine's at the top. So he posted a picture or sent me a picture, said, look at this fantastic egg breakfast.
I just made the same thing twice in a row and sent a picture.
There you go. And so I was taking small batch to school, and I looked at that and I was like, now we're going to have a fight because I'm going to make a much better sandwich than he is. And producer Brian, tell us how you made your sandwich.
Well, okay, let's basically, and I think this is where we kind of got off last time. My goal with this sandwich is to make a grilled cheese with egg, not to make an egg sandwich. So I'm making it the same way that I would make a grilled cheese sandwich, only I'm adding egg to it because it's breakfast. Eggs make it breakfast, right?
I'm going to argue that that's an egg sandwich with cheese, not a grilled cheese.
I would have, but if I was just going to make an egg sandwich, I wouldn't use the same methodology. I'd probably be more closer to what you did and just like toast something or heat up the bread or do something to make the bread crunchy and then make this egg. Sometimes I see it on plain bread, but egg sandwich, I don't know. This was cheesy, like it's extra cheesy. The point of it is it's cheesy and the eggs just it's breakfast grilled cheese is the way I look at it.
Okay. All right. So how did you make it?
Well, this one, so you start with, butter in the pan, you just crack an egg, you let it cook for just a second, and then I take my bread and I put it on top of the egg in the pan, use the spatula and kind of make it all the same shape. Then I throw a little extra butter in, flip it over so the other side of the bread starts to toast. Then I add cheese and melt it. But basically, I'm doing a 3-flip grilled cheese sandwich. It just happens to have a fried egg in the middle. It's not a runny egg. It's just a fried egg.
So the question then is, how does your cheese, if you put the cheese on it and flip it, how does your cheese not stick to the pan?
I didn't flip the cheese. The cheese was on top of the egg. So after I flipped it up, so it starts egg on the bottom, bread goes down.
Put the bread.
Then I flip it over so the bread's on the bottom of the pan. Cheese goes on the egg. Then the new bread comes in.
Okay.
That gets flipped over and toast the other side.
Okay.
You get a fried egg. Right. Cheese. It's a grilled cheese with fried egg, basically. That's what if I was writing a menu, that's what it would be called.
Okay. So I evidently made an egg sandwich.
I made an egg sandwich with crunchy toast, it looks like.
Yeah. So I got, again, the brioche, which we had it, so I was just using it. So got the brioche, did it grandma style, put the butter on it, put it in the oven on the top and on the broiler, got it nice and crunchy, did an egg, fried an egg, and then I put the bacon on it, then got the toast out, put, one side up, put the egg in, put the cheese on it, put the other one in, put that in the oven for a second, get it all melty, bada bing, bada boom. So the whole deal was, then we posted on Facebook to see which sandwich looked the best. Mine was a runny egg, though.
What was the number? So, I never saw the final votes on this.
So so I've got the final notes. So Brian Little said bottom.
That's just me. Right?
Which was you. Yep.
Yes.
Daniel Charlton said bottom. Right now we're 2-0.
I commented earlier, that's the only ones I had seen.
Okay.
I found the button to show me the rest of it. Oh, no.
Lee Short, who I trust, who has a catering business, voted top. Kay Thomas said bottom. So right now, 3-1.
You can stop. That's good.
Jim Purvis said if he's going to a sit-down restaurant, which is top. If he's going to drive, it's for the bottom.
That's a good point.
So I'll give him the point on that one. Nobody gets points. We equal out on that one.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
That's
not an answer.
Kimberlini said top. Ashley Gutierrez said bottom.
Oh.
Rodney said top. And Sarah Heacock said top.
Oh, no.
So now we are at a 4-4 tie. And then so I asked Magic Man, and Magic Man, you're the tiebreaker. So you saw the pictures, you know what we're having, and you've already mentioned before. Yeah. Which one did you pick?
Put me on the spot.
Yep, that's what I do.
I believe my response was, if you remember from that movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, when they were voting on who was going to be the leader of this outfit. And Pete says, I vote for yours truly. And Everett says, I vote for yours truly. And Delmar says, I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys. No, it was a very, very tough decision because they both look excellent. The only thing that kind of
excellent,
and that was not intended either. So hey, my vote went for JT only because he had bacon on his sandwich, and I didn't see anything like that on Brian's.
Yeah, there was it was not seen in the picture, but it did have ham on it. It just happened that morning. I happened to have ham, so I threw some ham in there. Which may have changed. Now it's a hot ham and cheese.
Yeah.
You just blew your grilled cheese theory out.
But for everybody listening, these two guys, they know how to make some good food. So it's a tough decision. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So we'll say that I won that one and chalk that one up to the books. It's early. It's early in the summer, so I'm sure we'll have some more competitions.
Yeah, I'll start sending you pictures of everything I make, and then you make it and see how it goes.
Yeah, see, I can't because I don't have the grill, so I can't do all that stuff.
I made chicken shawarma on Sunday. I don't know if I posted that or not.
What is that? You did post it, but what is that?
It's like Middle Eastern. Basically, have you ever been to like a?
Nope.
Like there's like Le Kebab is in the university area. You ever had a gyro?
Yeah. I've had
it's a big piece of meat on a turner.
Okay.
Shawarma is very similar. Usually it's lamb or chicken, and it's got Middle Eastern spices on it, and they just it turns on the same type of like infrared burner. So basically, usually it's with chicken. It's just a bunch of chicken stacked up.
And I've seen that.
It compresses and slowly cooks, and they'll slice it off, and it keeps cooking, and you keep slicing and cooking and that kind of thing. Well, I did that in my smoker because in my pit bull I can hang stuff. So I had some hooks or some like long skewers, and I was in a hurry. I would have done longer stacks, but basically I did like 4 1-pound stacks of chicken.
Okay.
Marinated and cooked them for a little over an hour. It's good.
Turned out
just
good.
like that. Put on a pita if you have like cucumber sauce or something.
Oh yeah. Come on.
You don't need anything.
Tzatziki.
It's fantastic.
All right.
Yeah.
If you guys remember, we do a bit called Speak Your Piece. So we're going to go to that now. And that is a bit, well, not a bit, but it's a column from the Mountain Eagle newspaper in Letcher County in Kentucky. And we're not making fun. I want to be very clear. We're not making fun of these folks. These are my people. I'm from Kentucky, so I call Kentucky home. So these are my folks. So I'm not making fun. I'm just pointing out that this column, there's this newspaper. They have an old answering machine, and people will call in and speak their piece, Piece, and they'll just say whatever they want. And then this newspaper will then print out their rants, and then we have this glorious radio gold. So from the Speak Your Piece, to my noisy neighbor next door, the reason why I moved my chickens out from the bottom and around my house is because my no good brother-in-law and sister, who you claim talks to you over the computer, claim you are going to buy my uncle a double wide and put that at the bottom. You claim that when you do that, you'll get the land where his house is on now, but you have another think coming. You have nothing. You might think that you are God's greatest creature, but you own nothing. Ooh.
Someone else's biscuits are burning.
Ooh,
Big time.
no
Man,
doubt.
those things are Cajun blackened.
You know this person's old because they refer to, you claim to talk to you over the computer. I don't care what my dad does, but everything is on the computer. It's not on the internet. It's not on Google. I found it on the computer. So I know this
just sitting
person's
there. Yeah, they'd have to search for it. Right.
it's just on the computer. Oh, so man, I love these.
Have you
To a certain, go
This
ahead.
is a tangent a little bit. Have you seen there's an account where like some old guy, they told him Twitter was a search engine, so he just like types what he wants to search for into Twitter and hits submit. I need to find it. It's hilarious.
That's good. By the way, I pulled my back out this week, so it hurts to laugh really bad. So I was like, "Ooh, I got a twinge in my back when I do that." Yeah. So go ahead and find that, and I'll keep going. To a certain woman, to a certain woman, you do you not feel guilty for being with one guy and making him believe that the young ones you have are supposed to be his? I know it's not his, and I know you know it's not his, and I can tell you who the daddy really is. He works in Whitesburg, and he wear glasses too. As soon as I saw that young man, I knew the daddy of that child.
Bring on Maury Povich.
You are the father. Ooh, I mean, people are all up in each other's business. All right. I don't understand why they don't bring the swap box back on air in Whitesburg. People really need it. They are put on programs that don't amount to a hill of beans. But when it comes to something the people need, they won't do it. Do you guys know what the swap shop is?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was a radio program.
Mm-hmm.
Back, I remember hearing it back 20 years
program?
ago. Well, the one I heard was called Swap and Shop, and basically it was a guy on there, swap and shop, what you got? And it was and basically they would people go on the radio and to sell their stuff, and they would describe what they had. So it was almost like a radio version of the classifieds.
Yeah. The like the Craigslist of the radio.
Yeah.
In fact, here's what we should do. We should do a swap shop on the show. So either tweets or email at SFP Radio, Instagram, and send us like a picture or whatever you want to sell, and we'll have a swap shop segment that we'll put on there. So and now, so what happens is they'll put that information out. You'll then contact us, and then we'll give your information to them, and then they'll contact you, and then you guys will figure out the shipping and stuff. We don't have any of that stuff to do. Oh,
I found a Twitter account. I didn't hear the last couple of things you guys were talking about because I found a Twitter account.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll finish this and then we'll go.
I've got it ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. I can't wait. To a certain lady, this is Foxhound. Me and you used to get out just a little bit over in the Knott County area. Just wanted you to know that if you wanted to get out again, we might even stir up a fire that we had years ago. So this is Foxhound, and I'm going to call you Gray Wolf. Please respond, and we'll see where this goes. I'm tempted to call and say that I'm Gray Wolf.
This is Gray Wolf.
And we're going to meet in Knox County area where we used to meet up. Should I do that? That'd be kind of funny. That'd be great. All right, here's a mean one. To the ladies who work in Winston Meade's office in Whitesburg, you are the rudest and most ungrateful people. You don't want to help anybody, nor do you want to do anything for anybody. That's awful. I kind of want to know what the story is behind that.
Right.
Yeah. Here's a nice one, though. I think all the ladies who work at BP deserve tips, just like all the other workers. Come on, people. Let's step up and give them $1. Thank you. I don't know how many people are going to that BP, but $1, I ain't going to go too far. All right, last but not least, from the Mountain Eagle, to the person who is opening up my mail, Could you please not seal it back so tightly?
Wow.
So that is this week's Speak Your Piece from the Mountain Eagle. All right, producer Brian.
We need like a soundbite for that, we need something to like cue that, like an eagle screeching or something.
Yeah, that'd be great. I like it.
That's pretty good what you just did there, Bacon.
Yeah, there we go. We'll just record that.
Yeah,
just use that.
Make it happen.
Yep.
So apparently this Twitter thing is really old. I didn't realize how old it was. So this is not new for anybody. The story is like 10 years ago, someone told his 81-year-old father that Twitter was a search engine. Okay. So
which is genius, by the way. Well done, sir, whoever that was.
There are 243 tweets on this account right now.
Wow.
The last tweet was 2 years ago. So,
okay. All right. So somebody let him in on the...
Norman, I don't know his status anymore. But first thing, this is the first tweet ever. Ready?
Yep.
Weather. Like weather, like Macho Man weather. Then apparently that didn't work. So weather Indianapolis today, right? Then it gets interesting really quick.
No,
okay.
No.
This is like 4 or 5 in. Facebook on Shirley Tarnow Laporte, high school class of 1948.
He's looking up Grey Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking up Grey Wolf.
Yeah. Then we got Google rash on ankle. Then he tweets tornado twice. Let's see. Here we go. Princess. This might be this. I think this is PG-13 or PG. Princess swimsuit dress. Okay. And after that, this was the same day. This is the same day. Erase or forget a memory.
He's trying to find Grey Wolf again.
And then we see soft food and soft snacks, soft nuts.
That's not PG-13.
Osama dead photo. I guess it's around when Bin Laden. Oh, goodness. Soft boiled grapes.
Can I ask?
He tries to spell Lipitor 3 times. He gets it wrong. See, here we go. Here we go. Back in this. I didn't say that. Is Shirley Tarnow a widow?
Grey Wolf?
Wow.
Right? Is that you? John Stewart Jew, whatever. Diane Sawyer swimsuit pictures. Remote control leash yellow. Out of context, these are great, right? National Geographic dinosaur truth.
Here's my question though. He's not getting results.
I guess not.
So why does he keep 243 times? He's like, forget it.
Takes a dark turn.
Oh no.
Shirley Tarnow obituary. There's a couple of those looking for her new name.
Good night.
Cracker Barrel hours on Eagle View Drive.
Of course.
Howie Mandel photos with hair. Less salty ham. Buy a left shoe only. Does Jay Leno live on his set? Oh, goodness. Famous whales.
What does that mean? I think we got a show title.
Which one? Famous whales? I got it. Yep. Is it that or Diane Sawyer in a swimsuit? This odds on 3/13/1924 34 Powerball. Does aftershave expire? I mean, I'm just gonna keep moving through here. This is like you're old.
And he was probably contacting his kids saying, "This Twitter search engine doesn't work."
Here's one. Why rap? Bifocal swimming goggles. How to mail a pair. Nighttime trampoline illegal? Question mark.
He's got some kids in his neighborhood. They're jumping at night. He's like, this has got to be illegal. I know it is. Let me Google that.
Is the weatherman considered an actor? Are there aunts in China like your relative, like your mother's sister?
Okay.
What? Scissors to cut cheese with.
Oh God.
Yeah, sorry. I can just sausage now.
I can cut cheese without scissors.
I know you. I knew that was coming.
I can use a knife.
John Glenn's phone number, please.
Now he's being nice. For the love of God, Twitter. Return
alternate
something.
Uses for the moon. Okay.
What's the Twitter account? So if anybody wants to go back.
It's called Old Man Search.
Okay. All right.
It doesn't. The last one was 2 years ago.
Ooh, what was the last one?
Has anyone ever been named Onion? Canister of Olympic pool water for gift. Why can't I tickle myself? Putin's teeth are made of what? And the last one is Bazinga for Trump. That's it.
Oh God. Whew. Yo, I'm gonna have to take some extra Advil for that one. Good night.
How's your back?
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. I did see somebody tweet Phil Mickelson can win the PGA at 50, but I have to take ibuprofen by helping somebody install a fan at 37. That was good. Oh, well done, sir. That was the highlight of my night right there. Well, let's just pack it up and call it a day. Ooh, that was gold. All right, Magic Man, you've got a story that you wanted to bring up on the show.
Yeah. So there's several articles about this out there. The one that we're looking at is from Best Life Online. It says, if somehow you've missed the news and haven't seen them with your own eyes, trillions of cicadas have begun emerging from the ground for the first time in 17 years. The cicadas that only come around once every couple of decades are called Brood X, and they may be drawing out like some other unwelcome visitors. Yes, it's not only the bugs you need to be on the lookout for. Experts say you also need to see, or you might also be able to see, an unusual number of copperhead snakes as they come looking for a nutrient-packed cicadas to munch on. So yeah, that's kind of scary. Along with the swarm of bugs, we may have some stuff going on here, kind of like Noah's Ark. Not Noah's Ark.
Do they come out around here?
Well, yeah, they do.
You would have remembered that, right?
It's Eastern U.S. Yeah, because you would have thought about the last time they came out was 2004. That was 17 years ago. So probably any place that has trees and a large amount of trees and stuff, that's probably where you need to.
Any place that has trees.
Yeah. Well, that's where they bury themselves in.
Yeah, well,
trees.
they live off tree roots.
Yeah,
underground.
So. Did not know that.
Yeah, I did a little. I was reading up on. I saw we were going to talk about this, and I actually had a potential wacky news story. It says Georgia County asked residents to stop calling 911 about cicadas.
Oh Lord!
It's mostly because of the sound they make.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
They're pretty loud, right?
And it can be like up to 120 decibels. Like it's loud.
Ooh.
Some people says it sounds like a UFO hovering, going. Whoa.
Yeah, absolutely. It can totally sound like that. I tried to find a good like YouTube clip of it, but nothing really did it justice. I feel like I did find some interesting articles about it, but I feel like I'd remember like a plague of locusts or cicadas. Like,
Well, I do remember one back in 1996, and it was like that. It was freaky too. These cicadas that come out and they have these big. They had like red or yellow eyes, and they were large compared to their bodies.
Yeah, these are the red eye ones.
Yeah, and they would just. I remember they would just fly all over you. It was kind of scary, kind of creepy, and they had that noise. They'd be up there rubbing their legs or whatever it is they do to make that noise in the trees, and it's just this humming woo noise.
Yeah.
But yeah,
in that article though, it said that not only do we have to worry about the copperheads, but the copperheads, they've got a full belly now with the cicadas. And so there's much more time for hello time with other snakes. Yeah. So now we got to worry about not even this year, but next year there's going to be lots of little Satan's little hand puppets running around.
Well, yeah, I think the fall is when
fall,
babies. Yeah. So like, you'll have more not biggins, but more big copperheads.
Yeah,
full grown next spring coming out probably.
In other articles I've read, they've said that the snakes generally come out at night and not usually during the day a whole lot. So, but anyways, the point is watch where you step, because you may, especially if you're in the woods, you may find something unpleasant sitting there.
I'm petrified now with Small Batch because she loves running around in the backyard, and I'm like on patrol trying to find anything that's moving. Yeah. I'm going to go to the store and get the snake away stuff. I'm going to line the entire perimeter with golf balls.
You just need like a big old black snake to deal with it. Just need one of those in the backyard, and they'll take care of the rest of it.
Look, I'm not dealing with any no shoulders. I hate them things.
You don't got to deal with them. They'll eat the copperheads.
I'm just going to buy a lot of cats and put them in the back. And then I'm going to buy, after they eat all the snakes, then I'm going to buy a bunch of eagles to take care of the cats. Oh. And then, there we go. Then I'll fight one off and see if I can do it barehanded.
So I was looking at an Instagram account. I believe he was on the show, Culinary Lion, at some point.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Before my time.
I think so.
He has an Instagram video of he's making, looks like tempura battered cicadas.
No, thank you.
I didn't see him eat any of them in this video, but he went through the process. Apparently, you take the wings off first. He made like a tempura, like a spicy sauce. You dip them in, and nope.
I thought that was fish. I thought he did like mahi.
One he posted like 2 hours ago or something.
Oh no, I didn't. Look, we'll get him back on the show. We'll have him talk about
like
that.
Red-eyed tater tots is what it looks like.
No, we're gonna have him on the show. We'll talk about it.
No, spank you.
I've been, because he does a lot of keto stuff, so I started following him, and some really cool looking stuff. And he lost me. I mean, I'm pretty adventurous on the foodscape. I don't know bugs, man. That's not on purpose.
That's why God made bacon. We don't have to eat the bugs.
I mean, how are they with maple cream?
Oh, that's
a little bit salty.
I'll let you have it.
Are they more like I don't know. I have questions.
Look, I feel like I could go out to the front yard because there's one going out right now. Get the dog poop that somebody did not pick up, put the maple cream on that, and then and let her eat. I could probably do that.
I'll let you have that too.
Appreciate that. Thank you for not picking that up right there. I'm talking to you, jerk. All right, so the Kannapolis summer concerts have announced their lineup here close to Concord and Kannapolis, just hop, skip, and a jump away. Here's the lineup for the summer concert series. We've got the Plain White Tees, Uncle Cracker, and Jody Messina. And I got to thinking, I think at this point in my life, I'm just too old to go to concerts. I didn't always like concerts anyway, but now I'm just like, I'm too old. I don't want to drag.
Excuse not to go. That's what.
Yeah, that's probably it. I don't want to drag my chair out there. I don't want to sit on the ground. I don't want to be around all those people. I've become a curmudgeon. Like, I don't want to go to these concerts, especially any of these people. I don't know who they are. Would you guys go to any of those concerts?
As long as it wasn't too crowded.
Sorry, what'd you say?
What'd you say?
I said.
No.
No, I was just say as long as it isn't too crowded, I would go.
Yeah. Preacher Ryan?
Plain White Tees is pretty good. I'd go see them probably.
What was their song? I don't even know any
1, 2, 3, 4.
Really?
That's what it's called,
That's their hit? How's that go?
Well, they do some counting in it. Actually, that was one of the songs that was played before my wedding.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Acoustic.
Oh, I wish we could sample it,
really
but obviously
cool,
we can't. The only one that, like, I don't feel like I would hang out with the Uncle Cracker crowd.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
These group like Canapolis,
Right.
Some of these names were really big 20 years ago, right?
Right.
15 years ago, even.
Right.
And like they're still making music, but they're not mainstream, right?
No. Yeah.
I went to it was that barbecue and beer fest over in Huntersville.
Okay.
It's one we're gonna probably do in September. With,
okay.
Lee. They've moved venues, but I went to the first one, and it was a bunch of like 90s grunge bands.
Huh.
For me, it was great because that was my music.
Because that was your thing. Yeah.
But these guys are all playing in a field in Huntersville, right?
Right.
20 years ago, they were playing in like London, like Wembley Stadium or something,
Yeah.
Maybe not quite that big, but.
And now they're in Huntersville.
They were playing at about the arena downtown, not a field on a farm.
Yeah. Which surprised me because a while ago, before COVID, I wanted to go see Seinfeld. And I was like, that would be a great show to go see. Yes. And I looked at where he was playing, and they're like all these Native American resorts. And I'm like, what are you doing in Des Moines, Iowa, in like this tiny theater or like this, Indian casino? Like, I was like, bro, you've fallen so far from grace.
Yeah, he likes to go into smaller venues, I think, and do that sort of thing. I
guess. But golly, those tickets were like $125 a pop.
He likes the atmosphere in those small clubs. Reminds him of like New York when he was coming up, I think.
Wow.
I've heard him talk about that.
What concert would you guys like top of your list? Who would you go see if you had to go see a concert?
Oh, I love music and concerts anyway. So
okay.
Bucket list concert for me would be U2.
Okay.
Honestly, and they're getting old, so I'm gonna catch them on at the
Huntersville Theater.
Huntersville,
on
the field. Yeah.
Magic Man, what about you?
I don't have like a particular band that I would have to absolutely see, but I enjoy 80s music, probably some country music, something like that. That would be fun. Country music in a field in Huntersville, that would be fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll give
have
you
some beer and have a good old time there. Hey, we've got a new commenter, a new person on our chat here.
Zombie cicadas.
Come on.
Yeah, zombie cicadas. They are still losing. Let's see.
Yeah,
have we heard about zombie cicadas? They are losing body parts like legs and abdomen because of a fungus and still move around.
Or did they get the COVID shot? And then now they're turning into zombies.
Yeah, and that new commenter, his name is James Ray.
Oh, I bet there's some relation there.
Might be.
Might be. How about you? I've heard of zombie ants.
I did see an article about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about too.
There's lots of funguses. That's a real thing with more than one type of ant. Like a fungus that takes over like ants and like it gets in their brain and takes over and makes them do like weird stuff. There's a lot of that in like South Africa, South America, I think.
We'll talk about South America here in a little bit, or South Africa. For me, I think I would go to I would drop everything and go to like a Will Smith concert just because it's Will Smith. Or like I saw Fresh Horses, Garth Brooks' Fresh Horses, and that show was phenomenal. So I'd probably go back to that. So there's that. All right, so here comes our hot topics. I guess brought to you by ODV. I don't know who's sponsoring anything anymore.
Sponsor that. WebMarise could sponsor that.
Oh, all right, WebMarise.
WebMarise? Okay, there we go.
He emailed me this morning.
All right. So here's the deal. So and just to preface by this, I ran it through my wife and made sure that we were not having the creepy, pervy factor on this one. I wanted to make sure that, you know, 4 older gentlemen commenting on this is okay. I think that there's some really good points that we could bring up, and I wanted to know your thoughts about it. But oh boy, what happened?
You said 4 older gentlemen, and I don't know.
Oh,
Brian
3.
and I are counting 3.
3. Sorry, 3. Uh, a high school in St. Augustine, Florida. That's kind of where I grew up a little bit in Mandarin. So
is that on the Panhandle?
Yeah, you know what St. Augustine is, right?
Yeah, I do now.
By Jacksonville, just south of Jacksonville.
Okay.
And Bartram Trail High School is in an embroiled debate over its handling of the district's dress code. So evidently, what had happened was they were taking yearbook photos, and what had happened was that some of the girls weren't in proper quote unquote, they say, dress code. And so they photoshopped some of the girls that were evidently inappropriate and covered them up with some of their existing clothing. And we'll put the link in our show notes. They did a really bad job on photoshopping, so it looked obvious that they were covering stuff up. And to be completely honest, none of these girls were like horribly done. Like I would easily let small batch run around in what they were wearing. They weren't bad. They weren't distasteful. It wasn't inappropriate by any means. But then the school and the yearbook company had decided to not ask the girls or have them do a makeup picture day, but then photoshopped their bodies. And now some of the girls are getting a lot of feedback, getting made fun of because they did such a horrible job. It looks like weird. And so they, you know, the girls have felt bad. They felt body shamed. And, you know, it just looks bad on the girls and it looks bad on the yearbook company. And, you know, you take a step back and think about the body shaming that we've done in the past. And like, we shouldn't be doing it in the future. Does photoshopping a yearbook photo, does that count as body shaming? So I hope I did justice to the article. Basically, there were 80 photos that were edited. They were not asked to do a makeup day. They just took it upon themselves to Photoshop and cover it up. And they, again, did a really bad job and just made these girls feel bad. One of them said that she even had to go into therapy because she was getting made fun of because of it. So it's a sad situation overall. But what are your guys' thoughts on that? Like, should the yearbook company have done that? Should they have made them do an update or a makeup day? Should there be like tighter things on dress code before they go in? I just thought it was interesting that that this article came up.
What was it? The yearbook company that did the editing?
Yeah. They just took it up. Well, in partnership with the school, they said, "Here's 80 photos."
Okay, so the school under the direction of the school.
Right.
So they're just doing what the client asked them to do at this point. So
yeah, that's a good point.
The school is where I would point the finger at.
Yeah.
See,
this is a hot topic. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, the examples that you have of that one girl, she didn't show any more skin than anybody when I was that age showed. I didn't see anything wrong, and no, I wasn't trying to be a pervy old man. I didn't see anything wrong. I mean, like I said, it was no different than what girls my age when I was that age wore, and I think it's once again a school system or a school in particular being influenced a little too hard by those that like to try to cancel others out.
Yeah.
And, you know, if the school didn't, like, they came into school wearing these clothes, if it was against the dress code, they should have dealt with it when you walk in the door, right?
Yeah,
Bingo.
absolutely.
Making it a non-issue. I mean, if there's a problem, the problem exists before the picture's taken.
Exactly.
Yep.
But don't take the
Yep.
pictures if there's a dress code issue. But no one says anything, then someone who's yearbook editor, whoever, makes an arbitrary decision. You know, it's easy for me to say as the father of a little girl,
Right.
I'm in favor of paper bags for everybody, for girls,
Sure.
But there's definitely something about being comfortable in your own skin. And
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
as adolescent, I think all of us have had that awkward, like you want to feel like everything's like you belong in your body, right? And as middle school, high schooler, things are happening, right? So things are changing. It's easy to already be very, very self-conscious about the way you look.
Yeah.
And then you have an outside source making
this
changes to your appearance. I can see how that could be very detrimental.
Yeah. One of the daughter, to get this, her daughter was hospitalized twice this year due to stress and pressure from this last year. And now it's including the body image issues that she's still seeking treatment for. So, I mean, this goes deep. And I think also for me growing up, it was like, just suck it up, buttercup, like deal with it. But the more I learn about trauma and I learn about, adolescence and growing up and stuff, like there's so much of a better way than just telling people just to suck it up. Like we really have to deal with that. And I think part of it is you see like on the Twitter account, like some of these middle-aged women are just losing their ever-loving mind. And I think part and partial because of mental health that we're not addressing. And I think some of that could stem back to not dealing with some of the issues in their childhood. And I'm not saying that's the case for all the mean, middle-aged women, but it could be. I looked at, I agree with Ryan in the fact that you look at these girls and there's nothing wrong with what they're wearing. But man, like you're right, Brian, that they should have addressed it at the door or has said, hey, look, these pictures are out of dress code. We're going to give you a makeup day so that you could choose something else to wear appropriately. And also, I think it's funny. They list all the different criteria for the boys versus the girls of what you can and can't wear. And the things for the girls are twice as long as the things for guys. Like, so there's a definite double standard on that one.
There's no restriction from a guy wearing a short skirt, right?
Here's the rules for the boys. There's three rules.
Does it say you can't wear a short skirt?
It does not. Well, it says boys' pants, slacks must be worn to the waist. No boxer shorts or underwear may be visible. Check. Beards shall be neatly trimmed. Okay. And revealing clothing and pajamas are not acceptable. So there's the three rules for guys. Anything else, you're on. For girls, tops and shirts must cover the entire shoulder. They must be modest and not revealing or distracting. Midriff or cutoff dresses or cutout tops may not be worn. Extremely short skirts are not to be worn. Skirts are no shorter than 4 inches above the top of the knee. Revealing clothing, pajamas, and lingerie is not acceptable. Hair curlers and excessive makeup is not permitted. Girls' pants slacks must be worn to the waist. No underwear may be exposed. So even in that, like the girls are way more than guys. They also don't mention though that girls' mustaches and beards shall be neatly trimmed. So true, if we're going to play equals, right,
just copy and paste the same. Yeah, and they're very kind of vague on some of the terminology too. Like,
right,
with what is distracting, and that's going to be probably different based on the person, right?
Right,
based on your physical look, right? So like what.
It's all, circumstantial or subjective.
It
just frustrates me, the double standard on that or just the not equalness.
Yeah, sure. And there's a thing, there's a bigger thing here. I just lost my word.
Issue.
We've kind of over sexualized the female body, so that anything that looks form-fitting is automatically labeled a certain way, right?
Okay.
And that's on society, I think, but I think so.
Because I mean, when we were coming up, we were basically taught to respect girls and respect women, And it seems that nowadays boys don't really have that. I mean, there's boys that do have that, but then there's boys out there that don't have that being taught to them, to where they should respect the women in their lives and the girls, friends and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think that's the big difference. Because what they have as the regulations for a dress code really doesn't sound that different from when we were in school. Mm-hmm. And like I said, the picture that was in that article, the girl didn't look any different than in a girl that was, my age back then would have worn. What's changed is society. What's changed is everything being hypersexualized, and boys not being taught to be respectful towards girls, and then girls being scapegoated, saying you have to dress a certain way to keep the boys from misbehaving. No, they don't need to. The boys just need to not be stupid.
If a young lady's dressed a certain way, it's not an invitation for a guy to,
absolutely,
approach or whatever.
Yeah, no excuses. All right. So, anything else on that topic? I just thought that was interesting. I wanted to know your opinions and also voice mine.
That's good.
All right. Here's something that burns my biscuits. I want to know your all's thoughts on this. There is now a tax on plastic shopping bags that starts January 1st in Roanoke of next year. The Roanoke has become the first local government in Virginia to adopt an ordinance taxing disposable plastic shopping bags. Again, the measure takes effect January 1st at grocery, convenience, and drugstores. They will tax them at a nickel apiece for each plastic bag that is used. They say that Roanoke has already been recognized as an environmentally conscious for its use of propane and electric vehicles, and become the first locality to target single-use bags made from chemicals on Monday. So they are going to tax anything that you could put groceries in, big box stores like Walmart, Target. If you can buy non-perishables, I think that they're out. But they are going to try to clean up the environment by taxing plastic bags. Anything, though, that is like the kind of bags that you rip off to put in vegetables or meat or ice cream or anything like those aren't taxed, but it's the shopping ones that you take out. Bags. Yeah, they're wanting more people to bring in their own bags and use those versus using the plastic bags that the stores give you at 5 cents a pop.
That's interesting, because I would expect that to come out of some place like California, not some city in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains. Yeah.
Have you been to Roanoke?
I have not. That whole place just disappeared. There's that mystery on that. Okay. All right. So 5 cents a pop for any grocery.
That's interesting. So we do our grocery shopping, most of it here is Teeter. Mm-hmm. And, we do the home shop thing where they bring out the cart. You get paper bags every time. It's like almost very rarely do we even get a plastic bag anymore.
Wow, and, that's interesting.
It reminds me like that, in the 80s, it was all paper. Like right. You go to Food Line and they use paper bags, period. And at some point, I guess maybe it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Yeah.
But, everything went to plastic, and that was the norm. And now it's like, maybe that was a bad idea.
Well, we go to Walmart and we get the grocery pickup as well, but they'll put like a stick of gum in one bag, and then they'll put like a gallon of milk in another, and it's never consistent and it's never full. So how do you argue that? Like, if you don't do your own groceries and somebody else bags it, are they popping a nickel every time that they put that in there?
People don't know how to bag groceries either.
Absolutely.
It's an old man rant right there.
And then what about this? What if you return the bag? Do you get the 5 cents back? See, like there's none of that. Kind of thing. Yeah, like it doesn't make sense. They weren't. The city says, "Oh, we don't know how much money we're going to make from this, or how much people are going to make."
They're just trying to discourage. It's like when you go into a convenience store in the middle of nowhere, and it's an extra quarter to run a credit card on, to get a can of Coke. It's all about, I don't want you to do that. I want you to do something else.
Right. And that's what they say. They're very clear. Like, this is about changing behavior.
Yeah.
But the deal is like, why don't you let the free market decide? So Aldi's they don't have any bags at all. Like you have to either bring your own bag, or I think they actually do charge for bags if they want to use them, or they give you like the boxes that the food comes in from the store to let you box that up and take that with you for no cost.
The Sam's Club model, there's nothing. They just
okay,
roll it
or
out
Sam's
in a
Club
cart and just dump it all in the back. Your trunk just rolls around.
But let the free market decide. Like, why don't you have more of those stores that have that? So if people don't want to use the shopping bags, they can go to places like Aldi's or whatnot. Or why don't you like do like a percentage off of your bill that if you bring your own? Like, why are we punishing using the plastic bags instead of rewarding doing the good bags?
Didn't Trader Joe's do something if you bring your own bag? There was some like
like you get entered into a drawing that wins like a gift card or something.
There's some incentive. You get some extra
right
$2 check or whatever.
Right. So why is the automatic to be punishing people versus giving them rewards for doing something good?
Get a cookie if you use the paper bag.
How about that? Yeah. Like you get a little cookie.
Or donut.
Get your name put in for a $5 million, what's the
a $1 million backs a million?
Yeah.
Million.
Bag a million.
But I mean, it just frustrates me. Like, why are we taxing more on top of that? It just, it drives me nuts.
Because that's the big government way.
Yeah, evidently. I'm just, y'all.
Well, this is an example of small government, I suppose. They're doing what they want in their municipality.
Yeah.
Not being told by, the president that you have to tax.
Yeah. Well, the free market will decide if people leave Roanoke, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, don't move to Roanoke is what I'm telling you, unless you want to pay 5 cents per bag. So, I mean, that could add up after a year. All right. Here's the last story that I have for us is a pastor evidently likes healing people. A South African pastor, Christ. I mean, already he calls himself Christ Penelope. Here we go. And we're trying to keep it PG-13. He farts on his congregants, claiming that it's a process to heal people.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, let me read that back. South African pastor Christ Penelope farts on congregants, claiming that it's a process to heal people. A South African pastor. Whoa, back from the mic, Chief. A South African pastor reportedly farts in people's faces as a healing process to cure all spiritual and physical problems. Pastor Christ Penelope of Sevenfold Holy Spirit Ministries of South Africa has created a buzz online for his unorthodox method of healing people after a photo of him sitting on the heads of people, apparently farting on them, went viral. An attendee visiting the church complained, "When we come to church because we need prayers, not to be farted on." However, Pastor Penelope has defended his method, insisting that he is simply demonstrating the power of God.
Is the Spirit dwelling within him?
He says that it started with Master Jesus when he stepped on Peter, and it is demonstrated in God's power. Just like God made Adam go to sleep, it's a similar thing. God did anything with the body of Adam while he was in the ground in deep sleep, but he was not feeling anything. The Bible doesn't say anything about Adam saying, "God, you are hurting me." According to the pastor, farting near the person's nostrils is important so that the quote-unquote healing power can enter the body to do his work. He said when they wake up from their deep sleep, they will tell you that they didn't feel anything, and it is showing the power of God, and those who need healing are healed afterwards.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll let you go ahead and go.
I have so many questions.
So many. Let me also go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead. No, I'll
also, keep in mind that there are surprisingly many people wait up to 2 months to meet him to get farted on, even collecting his farts in containers. There are other ones that do not agree with this. So he rebuttals saying, "I don't fart on people, I heal people."
Justin and Daniel, if you're listening to this, don't get any ideas.
Okay, so
all right, here we go.
People are like waiting. So is this a large congregation?
I don't know.
Is there
I
a
wouldn't
limit?
think
Like,
so.
is there a time window? Like,
I would say probably.
He only heals people
after Mexican
2 hours after lunch.
Right.
He has to have how many bean burritos before that? Yeah. Like, what? This seems like a lot of physical preparation.
That's a good point,
right? Like,
well, maybe he has IBS. It just comes naturally.
He's lactose
intolerant.
Right.
Yeah,
and then he's just letting
physical goat's milk. He's in South Africa or somewhere. He said,
right. Y'all. All right, a raise of hands of how many people would get on the ground and let him fart on your face.
So are they passing out? Is the other thing. He said people when they wake up, like, these are some monster farts, right?
Yo, I'm not saying that I've let some rip that would drive me out of the shower. But I've never had one bad enough that I'd knock myself out.
Like CO2, like oxygen deprivation situation here. There's so much like methane in your face.
Methane
just like
in your face, yeah.
Out. Yeah.
Y'all.
No one light a candle in there, right?
So I thought that was quite interesting, yo. Quite interesting.
That's something. Wow.
So, all right. Well, that's all I got.
Benny Hinn has nothing on him.
Right. No doubt. Producer Ryan, did you have any wacky news or was that
I got some news for us.
Okay. All right. Let's roll.
Yeah. Wacky news brought to you by Watchman Cigars. And I lost my window. Here we go. We already talked about cicadas. So, Sioux City, Iowa. An Iowa man was arrested on Sunday for allegedly setting his neighbor's house on fire.
Well done, sir.
Because he didn't mow his lawn.
Wow.
Why didn't he light the lawn on fire?
According to the Sioux City Police Department, officers responded to a house fire. The fire department had extinguished the blaze, which damaged the residence. The neighbor admittedly was upset at his neighbor after he asked him on the previous day to mow his lawn. When his neighbor hadn't cut his grass on Sunday, he allegedly attempted to set their house on fire. This is all allegedly. What he obviously, they know he did it. So the fire department determined it had been intentionally set after they discovered pieces of plywood and sticks that were stacked against the house, and they could smell gas in the area.
Way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, that escalated very quickly. Will you please mow your yard? To I'm going to set your house on fire.
Yeah, and they got him on like the Ring camera or whatever, security camera.
No, you can't do nothing anymore with that because that Ring camera is going to pick you up.
The man was inquiring about when they would mow their lawn and attempted to remove a registration sticker off a car in the driveway. Guys got some issues there.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah. At least he's not farting on people's faces.
Did you guys see the video? There's a man who saves his wife from a bobcat.
Yes, in Kentucky.
Was that Kentucky?
It was. Yeah.
This one says Burgall, North Carolina. So maybe
no, I'm sorry. You're right. It was North Carolina. I knew it was where I lived sometime.
A viral video captured a rabid bobcat being hurled across a lawn by a man after the feline attacked his wife.
You have the audio on that? Because I think there's a cuss word on there, but
I think it was bleeped out. I watched the video, and it's just like you can't tell what's happening. And then there's like a tussle, and then there's a flying bobcat.
He throws the bobcat. He's like, I just got attacked by a bobcat.
That's scary, right?
Yeah, dude, that thing looked fierce, and it was going after him.
Going back to last week, did you fight a bobcat?
Well, clearly you can. You just pick them up and throw them really far.
Just throw them, right?
Right.
Yeah, easy. No problem.
Easy peasy.
No problem.
Yep.
Oh. Let's see here. Oh, a man has been jailed for robbing a McDonald's in England.
Okay.
And not making off not only with cash, but also food. Okay. Unfortunately for him, not only did he get caught, but he also wasn't able to get the meal he was hoping for during the robbery.
Oh, my.
Yeah. According to the news, he walked into a McDonald's, claimed to have a gun, and demanded money from the register. and forced access to the safe. On his way out, he reportedly demanded some chicken nuggets. And they're quoted as the fast food franchise's famous chicken nuggets. Is that what McDonald's is famous for? But unfortunately, it was too early in the day, and they were still serving breakfast.
Chicken nugget machine was broken.
So he was unwilling to wait for them to cook the nuggets. So he made off with a double sausage McMuffin instead.
Oh, thank God he wasn't trying to get the ice cream.
Which I love me a sausage egg McMuffin.
I prefer the pancake one with
the
maple. McGriddle. I like those better.
I like the egg on the McMuffin, like the way they do that.
Yeah.
Weird microwave egg, something like that.
Yeah.
But McDonald's. There's a famous. It was in Big Daddy, where he goes into with Adam Sandler.
Oh.
They go into McDonald's and it's like 10:30 or.
Stop serving
breakfast. They're like, we're done serving breakfast, sir. And he has a fit in the middle of the restaurant.
Right, yeah.
And a few years later, McDonald's goes to all-day breakfast, right?
Right, okay.
Which, some restaurants have done, like Bojangles always had that. But they don't have all-day Big Macs and chicken nuggets, apparently.
They may now.
Just all-day, yeah, right?
Raise of hands if you think that there was alcohol involved with that man.
There's something involved.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Let's do. Do you remember Carol Baskin?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, there's a movie I think it just came out called Army of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
If you see anything about it, it's a zombie.
I've seen it on Netflix. I have not clicked play yet, and nor will I.
Apparently, there is a zombie tiger in the movie.
Okay.
And so Zack Snyder is the director, and
that's scary.
His VFX team, not him specifically, looked to get research on the movements of tigers so they could properly animate this virtual zombie tiger.
Okay, so just to be clear, there's not real zombie tigers.
It doesn't say there is, but maybe if they get the same fungus from the cicadas, their limbs fall off.
Ate the zombie cicada. Oh, crap. What if the snakes ate the zombies cicadas? Then we have zombie snakes.
And your eagles eat your cats eat the copperhead, and then eagles eat the...
That's how the rapture happens. Yeah, that's how Jesus is coming back.
Anyway, they went to a tiger or big cat rescue.
Went to the big cat? Okay.
The big cat rescue to get inspiration or to observe, and what's funny is this actually took place before Tiger King came out.
Okay.
So they didn't know that they were putting themselves in danger. Right? Because Carol Baskin's crazy. Anyway, right? No.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
But they went and did this, and then they all ended up watching Tiger King. They're like, "Oh, I know that lady." Oh.
Okay.
So I just thought that was interesting.
So that was it. What would be scary? What would be scarier, the zombie tiger or a zombie Carol Baskins?
Oh man. The live Carol Baskin's pretty scary. So
right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the difference between the two as far as if she's alive or dead?
Long pointy teeth.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's it for me.
That's it for you. All right.
Yeah, if anyone has news they find, like zombie cicadas or anything interesting like that, shoot it over to the old headlines at sfpradio.com. And
there you go.
I'm always looking for more stories. I'm thinking about if I can find enough stories to bring back the old podcast. So,
ooh, teaser.
Thinking about it.
I would love it. I enjoyed those a lot. Those are great.
I haven't even looked at the numbers, see if I have any following left.
You don't have any following left, so there's that. You're in good company if you don't. All right, so that's going to be this week's show. Again, next week, David Page, the author of Food Americana and the creator of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. We're really excited to have him on. Again, it's not Guy Fieri, so just, cool your boots. But the creator of the show, he's going to be on next week. We're going to talk about Southern food, fried chicken, anything you want, he's going to be on the show. So I'm really excited to have him on. It'll be a great guest. So again, thank you for tuning in to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, hit subscribe. Don't forget that. And then, rate, review, all those things on the podcast. We would really appreciate it. That helps our numbers go up. Our numbers go up. We get better guests. Not that these guests are bad, but we can get some more celebrity type guests. We would appreciate that. And we might be able to do this full time one day. So we would love that. So again, thanks for tuning in. This is the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. And as always, keep looking up.
You're listening to the SFP